What the heck? Why am I here by myself?
Got my note card ready. Note card's ready. Michael.
Angry Ed in the house.
Michael. Let's do this. Let's
What's
talk
up?
Michael Phelps. Let's get down
Hold
to
on,
business.
gentlemen.
Let's get down to business.
Business.
Not
Man.
Michael House.
All he wants to
But
do
Michael's
is
house.
get down to business. Listen to it. He didn't even want to talk to us. He just
Yeah.
wants to like go. Let's hammer at
You
it.
don't want to warm me up, nothing.
Nope.
Asking me how my kids are doing, nothing.
Nothing. He don't care. He's just like,
Sounds like,
let's
sounds
go.
like somebody's afraid to get in deep topic, man. That's what it sounds like to me.
I'm scared, man.
Sounds
I'm
like-
afraid to pull the trigger on this unit,
Sounds
bro.
like you're afraid to bite the bullet and get deep down with the science, man. I'm
No,
ready to
hey,
go.
how was your week? You know, nothing.
Man, the week has started. I'm ready. I'm primed and ready.
What's
So-
up, Jason? How you doing, bro?
We just were notified by Eric
Yeah,
down there that he won't be here for 2 weeks because somebody gets to take a vacation. I wouldn't know what that's like, but you know, that's just me.
So what,
Eric's gonna
when
kill
were you in
Kodiak
Colorado
bears.
again?
Eric's going to Alaska, guys, for 2 weeks. He's going to be out of pocket. This is what rich people do, Michael. I don't know if you know that, but rich people go on cruises to Alaska.
Wow. Rich people. Yeah. No, trust me. We've been saving for this one for a while.
What do you mean saving everyone? He means he's been saving for probably like 3 months. 3 months of savings, and yeah, we'll take that. You know what?
Filet mignon for a week.
We've been saving for like 6 months. We're probably going to take a month off and go to Europe. That's my plan. You know, that'll be 6 months from now.
Yeah.
Little shanty town in Paris, you know. No
Yeah.
big deal.
Nothing.
Yeah, they got this weird looking building with lights, some tower thing. I want to go see it. You know,
Some Louvre or what do you call it?
Case beer. Wow. I haven't seen him in a while.
I haven't seen that name in a while. He's
Ooh,
back.
picking up
He's
some
been
new
working hard or
names.
something. What's up, Ken?
No, my camera's all jacked up. Hang on a second.
He's breathing heavy.
There we go. There we go.
It's picking up that mini split mindset in the corner.
Yeah, I seen you started your own company, man. Congrats. It looks awesome. You've been kicking some ass down there. You got to make it down to
Where's
down to
down there?
Symposium again.
Where's he down? Is he in Florida?
He's in Carolinas, maybe.
Oh yeah.
I think. Yeah, he's kind of out there, North Carolina. There you go.
That's got to be John Ellison here talking about going to Egypt. I just want to say, John, if that is you, we appreciate all of your Facebook feed. I felt like I went to Egypt with you a little bit.
Yeah,
You
right?
too?
Awesome.
Dude, I was following him like
I
crazy.
was following all of that thinking, man, I wish I was rich too. You know, one of these days. Man, it seems like everybody's making all this money, bro, and I'm just broke.
You know what? You know what the secret is, Chris?
Get rid of my kids.
I got no kids.
No kids.
It was either take a trip to Alaska once in my lifetime or have kids.
Oh, well, you know, that's a toss-up, man. My kids aren't watching this show, but yeah.
Gonna go watch the glaciers melt, right? I got a jug of 22 you could bring up there and just let it out.
What?
Right on the glacier.
Yeah.
We'll have all the tree huggers come out and throw machetes at them.
That'd be great content for the show.
That'd be
Yeah.
good.
No. How about no?
He'll have the crews. They were like, turn the engines off. I'm just gonna vent out a bunch of jugs of 22 out the back.
Look at this. Coming out of nowhere, Susie says, I need to lower my fan speed. What's
Hell
that all
yeah.
about, Susie?
Get that humidity out.
What's the story behind that? Let us know.
Yeah, right. Don't be
Speaking
don't
of
be letting us
fancy,
hang in here.
we're jumping into that. Michael, get us into this house, man. This show
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
all about
Tell
Michael's
us
house.
all about your house.
Yeah,
So,
let's
Susie-
look. I've got my notepad ready. I'm ready to take notes, and I'm ready to scold you. Let's go.
Talking about Susie, like lowering that fans. My fan speed, I did a true flow grid on it. We're running on low stage fan with humidity control. I got like a 15-year-old Honeywell IAQ, right? 208 CFM per ton. It's
What? 208 CFM per ton?
I got two questions.
what's up,
Yeah, I
man?
got a lot of questions.
How many stages in the outdoor unit?
I got one. Shh, don't
Single
tell
stage.
anybody.
Okay.
Don't tell
No
anybody.
shame in that. It's all good.
All right, I'm making notes. We got a single stage. Or wait, what are we doing here? First off, what are we doing
Dude,
here? Are we?
Sue, she's a teenager. She's got to get out the house, man. This
So are
unit,
you?
it's
Are you
it's
about
old.
to? Okay, so you're looking to swap your equipment out. Am I right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay.
And I've been like I like to apologize to everybody. I've been guilty of procrastination and
Oh no, man, I'm living it over here. My thing's a
dude.
box of trash that I need to work on.
All
I
right.
remember
So
yeah.
let's back up again. What problems are you trying to solve?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? One of the reasons why I wanted to do something new is because I've got about 5 years ago, I got a Yoo-Hoo, and that's an air quality monitor for those who don't know.
Not the chocolate drink.
Not the Yoo-Hoo with the cap on top. Oh, American Temp Control's up in here. Nice.
Packed
What's
house.
up, bud?
All right.
So I
keep
got the
Keep going.
Yoo-Hoo, man, and so at night my CO2 is real high, so I need fresh air.
Cool.
I got CO2 is peaking high. At the symposium, I go, Bill, hey, you sold me this tool, man. Take a look at this graph. He goes, it does peak, he says. So Bill Spohn said it does get up. It's not crazy. I was like, all right, that put me at ease. Yeah.
Where's your Yoo-Hoo at?
Mm-hmm.
I've got actually, I throw a little plug out there. Yoo-Hoo is cool, man. I did it. There was an email that popped out. Yoo-Hoo gave me another one.
Where's it at in your house?
I got two, right?
Whoa.
So I got one. My original is right next to the return, right? I have a floor mount, air handlers in a closet, right?
Okay.
Centralized in the home.
Central return. All right.
Yeah.
Florida house.
Single Florida, real typical. I thought I had a blueprint. Anyway, so on the other side of the wall is kitchen. So I have like a table there. It's like it's like
We're
3-4
talking
foot off the wall.
We're talking louvered door here, a louvered door install.
No, it's not a Jeremy Garcia Miami special. No,
I knew
this
that
is,
was coming.
it's,
Generally loves him.
So is it out in the garage or what?
No, it's in conditioned space. So typical Florida, you got like a great open floor plan when you walk in the house, right? So there's a hallway that offshoots into the house and then goes to the 3 bedrooms, right? So I got 4 bedroom. So right in that hallway, you turn to the right, there's a grill on the floor, 24 by 24. It sits on a wooden platform, right? Just a wooden stand. And there's like a little door. So on one side, so you can open up, it's like a closet almost. So short door, you open it up and the air handler's right in there. It's real tight.
Mm-hmm.
So,
don't give any extra space.
So it's ridiculous. So I have my Yoo-Hoo there right on the other side of the wall. We're talking like 2 feet away from the return. So then I got just recently got the Haven, installed the Haven.
Yeah, I seen that you were mounting it in the return. Did you end up mounting it on a piece of plate to get it like freestanding in the return? What'd you do with that?
Bro, what the heck did I do? I think I put it on like a metal L bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I put it on like a
that works.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Like a UV like bracket that I had like laying around. Yeah. And I put a Merv 13 on that sucker recently, 24 by 24. Those ones you get off Amazon. Dude, the pressure drop on the 13 was pretty high, coming from a Merv 11.
Yeah.
So Haven says my air quality is really good. It's like 95.
So that's after the filter. The Haven is.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
It better be. I got a duct test that we did on it, duct tightness test.
Now, I was just about to ask you, man, what's the duct leakage?
Yeah, I did the duct leakage a couple of years ago. Let me pull up the cloud data. I don't have that off the top of my head, but I'm thinking 40 to 60 CFM.
Oh,
Pull up the Arc Cloud. The Arc Cloud will have it. This will take about 10 minutes to pull up, but yeah, right around 40 to 60 CFM, which should pass new construction code.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Yeah,
and especially if that's total, so not duct leakage to the outside only. I mean, if you're you could have grill leakage, you could be less than 40 or 60 of leakage to outside. You could be
that
more
is with the vent cap system too. So nothing against vent cap system, I love them, but it is a little soft gap.
I mean, I think that's good, but like, how'd you hook to the return air grill? You masked it to the sheetrock?
It's the 24 by 24 metal grill. I put it right up to there. Took the filter out. So
smashed it to the grill. So you could even have cabinet leakage in that too then.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's really low, to be honest.
A lot of that, my guess is probably cabinet leakage in your air handler.
Yeah, because it's 15 years old.
It's old.
I don't care. Even the new air handlers aren't all that tight. So
I know
I agree with you on that, man. They're not that tight.
So that's something I'm curious to hear some info on, and I almost want to just like, man, I wish I could go to a factory and just start taping up units and putting a duct blaster against them just to see what the leakage is on cabinets. I was having a conversation with somebody last week about that, and what I'd like to know is what is the leakage of, say, an 80% furnace, a 90% furnace, an air handler of different brands. It'd be really interesting to know.
Well, they've all got to pass the what is it?
There's a standard, right, Eric?
Standard.
It's like, isn't it like 4% of leakage they're allowed to leak? But that seems kind of high.
It does, but I'm trying to remember what the standard number is on that.
Mm-hmm. I remember ICP started to give me little like window gasket stuff to pass their new standard.
I was actually talking to Doug, and look at that. Doug said videos coming for us soon. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, yeah, finally. I called him up when he did that duct leakage test. I was like,
we need other people than Doug, though, because Doug's probably dealing with one or two brands, right? We need somebody else to hit the other brands. Yeah. You get all the brands. Make a list.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an AHRI standard, but I don't remember which one it is. But yeah, there's a cabinet leakage standard. And it's, the cabinets aren't all that great. And you can tell that when you go back and look at an older one.
Yeah.
When you look and see, especially on the return side, you start seeing dirt streaking on the outside or the inside of the cabinet. You can see, kind of dirt streaks where they're coming in. So they're leaking a little bit.
Yeah. So I made it like it looks like Neil Comparetto's job. It looks absolutely atrocious. This tape all over my air handler. You had to pay like it had to be a $5,000 like pot for me to show you that air handler. I got chicken scratch all over it. Tape looks horrible.
So it's like 3% of the total airflow. So in other words, like if we've got say 1,200 CFM.
Yeah, but what airflow? Like, is it all based off like nominal 400 or?
Well, I'm pretty sure they base it off nominal 400 or whatever the airflow is that they test it at. Because I think they have to test it. I'm trying to remember. I think it's that they have to test it at a specific differential pressure, but I don't know what that is. And I'm not.
Well, mine is in conditioned space, so if my air handler sucks a little air from the closet, I'm all right. So, and my electric bills are good, believe it or not. It's probably another reason why I put the damn thing off. But yeah, the humidity is controllable when it gets hot here in Florida. Shoulder season, this thing sucks. My humidity peaks.
I want to see this content, by the way. I want to see this content.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Dude, I've been dying for his video to come out, man, because I'm like right where he is. I'm like ready to change it out for the last couple of years.
So, Michael,
ASHRAE has a standard 190
Dustin's calling bullshit. Yep, I know.
which specifies the air leakage testing of furnace and air handler cabinets. So if anybody wants to do it, look at ASHRAE standard 193. But that way, if you test it, you can test it in whatever way you want. But if you also test it to the 193 spec, then you can start comparing what the factories have to test versus what we can test in the field, because that often is different.
And what I got a duct leakage tested to Tuesday, and there's no air handler, so they give me a duct leakage of 3% to pass, I think.
I mean, let me ask you a question. I mean, I know that ASHRAE has their standards, but like we also have standards that we have to pass by our codes, which is tested at 25 pascals. So I mean, there may be a standard, but in this sense, I almost kind of feel like unless the standard's at 25, who cares? Because we have to test it according to operation, and that's what we care about.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I remember talking to Steve Rogers at the symposium, and that was kind of my issue. I was like, talk to me about duct leakage and testing.
In my mind, that's getting a little deeper now. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, because when you're talking about that 3% leakage rate of just the air handler at the factory, and they may test them at 25 pascals. I don't know what it is. So again, let's not jump down that throat until we have more data, but I don't know that. But anyway, we're kind of getting off track.
No, we're not. The point of this show is to get off track.
Oh shit. I have my duct leakage report right off the iPhone. It's 64 CFM.
Oh yeah, that's tight. I take that.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
and then my blower door is right around like 950 CFM to 1,000 CFM.
On how many square feet?
Square footage is 2236.
Oh, nice. So you're pretty tight house too, then.
Yeah, tight house, low duct leakage. I got to ask one question.
Shoot.
Why are you at 208 CFM per ton? And how are you maintaining that?
Bro,
on a stage system. Tell me the secret. What's going on here?
At full speed. So I've got a ICP, which is like Brandt, Heil, Heel, Payne, all that crap. It's got the same circuit board as a carrier that has the little J1, J2. You pull out the pin to drop into low speed, variable speed blower.
Is it variable speed or is that a
full variable?
Torque? Oh, it's full variable. Okay.
Full variable speed. Yeah. So I set it up. I believe it was 400 CFM per ton. And then that circuit board drops it down. I think it's like 30%. I forget. So I true flow gridded it and I was like, holy smokes, low speed. It's like 208, dude. I thought a coil would freeze up at 208 CFM per ton. I'm shocked. So if you don't know, just test, bro.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. You don't know until you test.
That's exactly what I was like.
So
this is crazy.
Here's my question: on a shoulder season day, say like right now, what's your kind of typical high temperature during the day right now?
Yeah, it's not bad. For a couple hours, it's like it was windy today. It was like 80. I gotta roll out this little 70-pint dehumidifier in the house, man.
So if you go in there and you throw a set of gauges on that on a day like today, say it's 75 degrees or something, 80 degrees outside.
Yeah.
What is your suction saturation temperature running?
My condenser fan just took a shit, and that was fun. Posted that.
Yeah, I heard that story. Yeah, that was a good fix.
I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was fun.
You're a bigger man than me for that one, man.
Dude, could not find a motor, so I had a variable speed blower from warranty, pulled that bearing out.
Heck yeah.
And that's what I'm sorry, Jim. I'm sorry, Mr. Bergman, but I took a screenshot. All right. So we're looking at.
So you're running 41 degrees.
She's beautiful.
Yeah. So you're running a 41 degree coil. And what was your outdoor temperature at that?
Outdoor. What's funny is I almost clicked on the button for the outdoor temp.
All right. What was your? Let me ask you this: what was your high side saturation temperature.
That day, that day was hot, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I had roofer's neck that day. The next day I was crispy, man. I think we peaked to like, let's see what time I took that screenshot.
I'm still hung up on 208, man. I think you'd be freezing up at 208. That's
right?
Yeah, that's low. That's
let me get my True Flow grid out.
I'm
Get a
thinking,
True Flow grid report out.
You don't know
Let's
until
go
you
with
test.
TEC, baby.
I don't know, man. 208's drastically low.
Okay, what's your indoor temperature?
Indoor temperature, I keep it, no joke, 74 all day, every day for the last 2 years.
So you're pulling in 74-degree air. I don't see, he wouldn't necessarily be freezing up at that temperature. And clearly he's not.
Unless I'm wrong. Let me look. That's high speed, 342 CFM per ton.
So what are you basing your fear on, Chris?
I don't know. I'm thinking in my mind like 2.8 is just, man, that's low. I know. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Temperature, indoor wet bulb, all could play a role. That coil could be getting hit with some serious.
Dude, it's cold on a floor return too. It's like 72 on a return. I hear you, bro.
But here's my thing. This is where we get hung up in here.
Yeah.
We got to stop getting hung up in here and start using these friggin' tools that we have.
It's
to
crazy.
take readings and get data to back up what gets hung up in here.
Get a freaking True Flow grid, all right, bro?
I need one, don't I?
Get one. I know a guy, bro.
I might know a guy who might have a few.
Might know a guy.
I might know a guy who might have a few laying around.
So, Eric, that ICP unit usually drops the fan speed. Oh, what we got in the chat here? What are we looking at for like low speed on that variable speed when you drop it off of humidity? 30% on the airflow?
I don't know. I'm not sure on those ICPs. I don't know ICP products.
No fresh air coming in yet. That's what I'm working on. I want to get a Santa Fe in there eventually.
Yeah. So I think that's where we were going with this discussion tonight. You were thinking about how do you want to set up the new system? Do you want to put a dehumidifier in or a ventilating dehumidifier in? Am I right? Is that where we're going?
I got the Haven, so I'm just trying to figure out what the heck to do first, man. Like,
what's your load calculation like?
Yeah, that's where I'm headed. Yeah, load calc.
Load calc is coming in at 2.5 tons. So
you're talking,
and that's at what
30,000 BTUs.
30,000, right? Floating around 30,000. I just used Quick Model. I dumped in fresh air to do like another calculation. It peaked up just a little bit because it's but
if you're going to have your ventilating dehum do your fresh
take a penalty, right?
I don't know if I would consider that into my load calc.
You're probably not going to take much of a penalty because you're going to be able to shift a bunch to sensible.
Okay.
You're going to knock a bunch of the latent out of the now if you do your mixed air calculation, and when that dehum is running, it's not going to be at peak load anyhow.
Right.
True. Yeah. It's going to be like my shoulder season. No, that's a good point, man.
So
I'm glad we had this discussion.
Yeah. Don't add the dehum or the fresh air to the load calculation.
Okay. So yeah, definitely and then Michael House did a load calc on cool calcs, like 3 years ago, and it came up like just over 2 barely.
The ICP can drop drastically low if there is a dehumidification call with no G call, super dehu mode.
That's right. That's what I got. The DH call. Yep, I got that.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm wondering with that fan if you tested airflow, maybe why it was in that super dehu mode and not full capacity mode.
Don't make me run to the truck and get that freaking True Flow.
So what size equipment do you have in there now?
Now that's interesting. We got a 3.5 ton heat pump condenser with a 4-ton air handler. So that's maybe why I'm not freezing up. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be a big reason why, because you got you're
oversized
absorbing a lot of heat in there.
What was the static on the duct system? I'm just curious.
Static is With my new filter, shit, what was it? It's like 0.4 at high speed.
Really?
0.40, yeah.
What's that air handler rated at?
0.5.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
No,
and then I did the MERV 13 and brand new, the clean 24 by 24 runs at 0.5, I think, clean. So the MERV 13 took a little bit of a, which I was like, if it goes to 0.6 when it's dirty in a year, I don't give a crap.
Well, but that's really, you probably won't see that much of a raise in it, honestly. Having tested some of those filters, you don't see a big jump in pressure on those,
Isn't it crazy?
especially the real thick ones.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I mean, really the only thing, if it's rated at 0.5 and you went from a 0.4 to a 0.5, you're not going to change your airflow volume over that because you've got a constant airflow motor. And the all you're going to really do is cost yourself a little bit of extra money running that motor, because if it's still under the rating. Now, there is a piece out there that for best energy usage and best life out of a constant airflow motor, you want to run those at about 70% of their rating or less.
Okay, so 70%. What do you mean?
So
what's the rating?
If you got a 0.5 rating,
okay,
you multiply that by 0.7.
Okay,
and you want to keep your total or your external static pressure at 0.35 or less.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
So that gives
MERV
you
11. I was
energy.
running. Yeah.
So that gives you your best energy efficiency out of that motor. And it also gives you the best life out of it because you're not running it at the maximum.
Not the high
which
wattage.
means you're not heating that motor and all the components up.
Yeah. Yep. You're getting enough airflow across that coil. Yeah. Yeah. I'm running a 0.2 on the return. I thought I did another report on my house with the True Flow Grid, but yeah, I wrote it on my filter. Whenever I do my filter, I write it right on there when it's clean. So yeah, 0.4 MERV 13, which is really thick. Yeah, I pulled that filter apart. That's like 13 feet long.
Yeah,
I think it was Filter By makes it.
So you're able to track humidity obviously with your Yoo-Hoo, and now you got the Haven in there. So is your humidity maintaining high levels? Because it seems like you got a house that's sealed up kind of tight, and you don't have high infiltration. You're running super low airflow. You got a system that'll do extreme dehumidification mode. You don't have duct leakage. So I'm curious, if you're running high humidity, where's that coming from?
Right.
Room pressurization?
Probably I mean, yeah, room pressurization was not too bad. Because
wait. Let's back up there. What do you mean not too bad? Lay some numbers.
You know what? I'm not even jumping in there. I don't know.
Oh, no. Dude, you just
not after Jerry Garcia jumped into that.
You're about to go swim paddle this boat.
Yeah. Hell no. Yeah, what would I do? I did a blower door and closed the doors. No. I turned the fan on. I ran it in high speed and checked static under the doors with the DG8. And I was looking at I wrote all this stuff down. I think I was running 0.3 on one room, less than on the others.
Are we
0.3 or 0.03?
Inches a water column, or it's got to be, you're talking in inches.
It was I think I wrote everything down, man. Hold on, let me get a sip of another drink here. Let me get my notes.
Dustin's got all your notes right here. Just pull that last comment up, Chris.
This has turned into the roast of Michael House. I mean, Michael Cianfrocco.
Michael's house, not Michael House.
Yeah. 0.3.
Pull Dustin's last comment up.
0.03. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. 0.03. That'd be 7.5 pascals. That probably sounds about right.
Maybe, but he's got transfer grills. Yeah, see, there's your airflow right there.
Airflow is good.
Good.
All
Handometer.
All right. What do I got here? All right, so I turned the fan on. Yeah, so I'm looking at zonal was
you should have been prepared for this.
okay. So the guest bedrooms 1.7, 0.5.
Pascals or
Talking an inch of water column or Pascals here?
Those are French Pascales.
Okay, Pascals. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it one more time.
You know it's legit when you got foil tape on your air handler holding up your notes. You know, it's a mechanic closet.
Track of them.
Yeah, so I write down notes when I do stuff.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, master is 5.5.
There you go.
Broski. What is going on?
Not necessarily. So there's a huge conversation that probably needs to be had right here. Like, just because a room is at 5 doesn't mean that's detrimentally bad, but it also does not mean that it is not detrimentally bad.
Okay, so the next
I tell you what, I do not have enough return air back to the air handler for the master. I've got
So
one, two. Go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry.
We know that from that pressure measurement, but
the next thing you need to do, okay, when you take that room to room test and you find 5 Pascals between those two rooms or whatever you have, okay, the next thing you do is you go to the main part of the house where the return is located.
Yeah.
Right? And you take a reading from that part of the house to outside.
Yeah, that's
now when you
test.
So
that
when
was
you
very
close,
minimal.
When you close that close that master bedroom door, how much does the rest of the house go negative?
Go negative. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much?
That's what I did not do at the time.
It's coming next.
That's all that'll
Here's what we want to know, Michael. This is your next move. Not just the master, just shut all the doors in the house.
Okay.
Because it's central main return, right? Shut all the doors in the house, turn the system on, make sure the day is super, super, super still, no wind, and then measure from inside to outside and see if you're getting a lot of drop. We can use the lower door number and that other number and check. We can get pretty close to how much you're leaking air outside the envelope.
Seriously?
That way we can determine if your humidity problem is being driven by room pressurization, blowing air out of the envelope.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's way undersized. Like I got, let's see here. See that stupid little grill above the door?
Yeah.
That's what I have in the master.
Well, I mean, that's actually a pretty good sized grill for a normal bedroom. Now, if your master's huge, like if you're talking bathroom and closet and everything else in there, like a lot of houses have, then you may need more than that.
My house notes.
What would be interesting to see is
450 square foot.
If you lower the whole system down to a 2.5 ton, though, you're going to reduce all those CFM going to each bedroom.
That pressurization is going to change.
I was going to say that might, it is. It's going to change that pressurization. You may not have room pressurizations at that.
Right.
You may fix a problem without that inadvertently by fixing another problem.
I got my notes on low speed from TEC.
There you
go. I'm sorry. I was way off, bro. It's 280 CFM per ton.
Okay. That's
982 total
280.
CFM.
280 I can live with. I could see something not freezing up at 280.
Supply pressure is 0.12 inches water column.
Okay.
So you're not going to change your airflow much. You're probably going to go down to like 850 to 900 on your 2.5 ton system.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. I'm feeling a little froggy some days, and I want to go with a 2 ton. I don't know, man. I'm scared. I'm right in the middle, bro.
Henry's getting at you, isn't he?
Dude, Henry, he's like, listen, like years ago, he goes, I'll go in on you with a 2 ton. just to see. Because bro, I'm not a square foot per guy, but when it's your own house, you're looking at 2236 divided by 2. That's 1,100 square foot per ton.
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
Put your mouth where your money, yeah, but
let's talk about this a minute.
I think you'd be okay either way.
So the mentality of square foot per ton is single stage thinking. Now, you're going to go back with a single stage unit in this.
I'm going to go probably with a Train XV.
Okay. So are you doing this whatever the new control is where you can enter the load calculation into it?
The TAM-X, they're killing me with that, bro. Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But, the price tag is still killing me too.
I would love to know how that works. I mean, I don't know.
$7,000.
Yeah.
Okay. For a 2.5 ton setup?
No, it was a 3 at the time. I was looking at pricing.
Yeah, because you're not going to get half tons in variable capacity.
Can't get the half ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
do you guys think? You think I should?
I mean, here's my thought process on that. I think you'd be okay with a 2.5 ton all day long. I mean,
if you're going single stage, 2.5 ton.
Yeah, 2.5 ton. I mean, I think you could. I mean, if your load's 30, what's your latent and sensible split on that, or just what's your sensible heat ratio number? Is it like on a house that tight? You got to be probably at about 0.90.
In South Florida,
I just ran one through.
I mean, dude, he's got a house. His blower door number is 950 on 2,200 square feet. I mean, he might be in the nines. I've modeled nines over here in Louisiana.
Sensible is 26,675. The hell am I late?
You can make me do math on the show, man. Come on now. It ain't spit. Look, there you go. 0.89. He was close. Dustin did it for me. Thank you, Dustin.
Yeah, 0.89.
0.89. He was really close to 0.9.
Yeah.
I mean, you're up there.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of latent to deal with.
So is that a slab house? Slab on grade?
Yep, slab house.
So 2 questions from what things I've seen around here with slab houses. Do you know if it has a vapor barrier on it, and do you have a high water table there?
Dude, it's a high water table, man. I put a new mailbox in, and I hit water, bro.
Okay. So do you know if there is a full vapor barrier underneath your slab?
On this house, I do not know, but on some homes in my area, I used to do slab leaks for a plumbing company, and I'll hit Visqueen.
I was going to say he's got Visqueen, but I'm sure it's got a bunch of holes in it.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing, because concrete, and the thing with concrete is
it's a sponge, bro.
It depends on how you put that Visqueen in there.
Yeah.
That can bring a crap ton of moisture into a house if you've got if your vapor barrier under your concrete is no good.
Dude, and I did have a little slab leak where the foundation, you could stick a pinky in there, bro. And I had vinyl flooring that came stock with it was a builder grade house. And let me tell you, man, it built up moisture. So I know what you're saying is 100% right, dude. I lifted up that linoleum, and it started to grow some type of funk because
I'm a little off the conversation. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I haven't dove into that. And I haven't had a conversation, but I understand what you're saying. That concrete's just gonna
it's
just
porous.
Just like insulation in the walls would just weep moisture, right? If it got wet, the water would just almost run up. Concrete's just gonna sponge.
Let me go off on a little tiny tangent.
Yeah.
My lawnmower, right, in the garage, and I put my gas tank on there on top of it. I was scatterbrained one day. It fell down. I leaked 5 gallons of gas in the garage. Gone, bro.
What?
All the liquid was gone.
You said you poured gasoline on your garage?
No, it fell over. The gas can fell over, and we barely smelt it. The house is so tight, we barely smelt it, but it went down underneath the concrete, and it might have evaporated. I don't know, but
Yeah,
dude,
the gasoline will evaporate pretty quick.
yeah, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah,
I
it'll
spill something in the
evaporate pretty
garage. It's porous, man.
Most of that went up in the air.
I want to
Yeah.
circle back because Eric, you got me like super curious now, man. Like, how would someone go about knowing if their vapor barrier under their concrete is still intact or not? That's a good question.
You really need to start testing some things, and you can do like pin moisture tests on concrete and things like that. But what Michael mentioned there is actually a really good method. Okay. And that is you lay some plastic down if you can get to the bare concrete, or maybe even lay it down on top of your carpet, right? And put it somewhere where the cold air is going to blow directly on that plastic sheet. Tape it down hard to the carpet. Put some cold air on top of that plastic and see if you start getting condensation under that plastic.
Bro, you reminded me. There was a product that told me to do that.
I've never heard of that before.
Shit. Yeah.
Well,
so it
all
was
you're
for
doing-
paint, to paint
Right.
concrete floors. You nailed it, bro.
So all
They
you're
want to know
doing-
how much permeability is through the concrete and the outside. Yeah.
So all you're
Once
doing
again,
is
Eric's on
you're
some
creating
crazy
a
shit.
cold surface. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
you just have to create a cold surface above the floor so
Yeah.
that moisture can condense on it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm thinking of.
Just tent it out. And they gave a time window on the manufacturers on the picture. Yeah, because I told my buddy, I go, paint your floor when you're doing planking floor. He painted the whole floor.
Yeah, you want to paint if you're going to do a plank floor. Like I just did a floor here in my office because it's in a shop that's an unconditioned shop. Yeah, Rick Sims has talked about it. I actually learned about it from Dr. Stebrick, from Joe Stebrick.
Yeah,
he's talked about that extensively, and he did in one of his classes that I took, and that's where I really started learning about how far concrete.
Oh, damn, he beat me to it.
will conduct moisture.
It's amazing, bro. It really is.
It's like if you have a column of concrete, and I want to say it was a ridiculous like 1,600 miles or something like that. If you have a column of concrete that's perfectly sealed on the outside, it will conduct moisture from one end to the other like some ridiculous amount of miles. And it'll just wick right on through that concrete.
Yeah. So when I pulled out that linoleum, man, it started to get funky. So
let's just say, obviously, that's not showing up in anybody's load calculation.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. But it asked me how moist the soil is in the area. Yeah. I mean, so this builder had put my slab on grade, but they built the lot up, right, on the newer houses. They put a lot of backfill. We're talking like from the street, probably like 5 foot. So I do decent, man. I got gutters.
You might be fairly dry, but it depends on
dry.
Do they have to set the footings down? How deep do they have to put the footings down, right? Because if those footings, you got your slab and then you got your footing over here for the support on the house. Well, if that footing goes all the way down here and picks up water from down here and there's no vapor barrier there, it'll wick that moisture right up into your house.
Yeah, dude, I agree with you totally, man. I mean, it's amazing. You got builders putting irrigation right around the house. Like,
dude, I'm going to go sell my house. I'm going to put it for sale sign in the yard. Anyway, thinking like, man, I live in like a 1978 model house, and I've had water like when the 2000, I guess that was when the hurricane hit. Like my yard was flooded, bro. I'm talking so much water it got to the brick weep holes, and we ran to the neighbor's house because we thought the house was going underwater, and and I'm thinking is like, man, my concrete's probably constantly just bringing it, boom, boom,
bringing it up.
Because my humidity hangs pretty high, but I got other issues. So I'm here thinking it's other issues that I need to clean up. It could be my concrete the whole time.
Right. Hey, we'll have you on the show. You know, Eric's not going to be here for 2 weeks, so
concrete
talk about your
concrete
house next time.
will bring a ton of moisture. And if you have holes in it, like what Dustin just said there, he said he taped his seams on his visqueen. So not only do you have to tape the seams on it, you also have to tape all the penetration. So like where you have a pipe that comes up through it, you've got to seal that penetration where that pipe comes. So you seal the visqueen to, or whatever you use for moisture vapor barrier, you seal that to that pipe, right? So that you don't get moisture coming up around them. Yeah. And the same thing with your footings. Like when you bring a footing up, normally when you set a board on top of concrete, what do we put on top of that concrete? Between the base plate from the wall and the top of the concrete, what do we put there?
Oh, you talking about the foam pad that goes underneath the
right
2x4s?
Right. So that foam pad is actually a vapor barrier. It's an air seal too, because it's flexible, but it's also there to be a vapor barrier.
Yeah, I'm like
coming up. It makes a good air seal though. I don't know. I haven't tested it. I'm just wondering if it makes a good, because like I know
it's a whole lot better than just setting that 2x4 on top of the concrete.
Yeah, but now like they want people to like, people go around and they'll caulk that.
Yeah.
That base.
You need to caulk it as well for a even better air seal. But that foam kind of, because the concrete's never perfectly smooth, right?
Right. No.
So that foam acts as a little bit of a cushion in there.
Yeah.
Kind of a little gasket.
Yep.
And it's also a backer. If you're going to put caulk on there, it acts as a backer board.
Yeah. And then I watched Matt Reisinger. He did his house. He did that, and then he caulked the whole bottom plate, man, in the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that house came out super tight, bro.
Maybe we just need to like have some type of spray for that. Like
there is. There's a spray. There's all kinds of different.
I'm gonna go Flex Seal. When I build my next house, I'm gonna Flex Seal everything.
I'm gonna make a house out of Flex Seal, bro.
There's way better things than Flex Seal.
No, man.
I'm gonna do like a wicker house and just spray, just Flex Seal the whole friggin' thing.
That's my plan, dude. Yeah. Yep. I'll probably get a hell of an endorsement for that. They'll probably sponsor this show by the time we're done.
Just love that slap. The slap they do with the water.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. Honestly, it was great marketing. You got to hand it to him.
I got to give it to him.
I mean, there's a million memes on that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the guy with the big beard too, right?
Yeah.
If you watch Stephen Basic on YouTube, the architect, he's on the Build Show with Reisinger and all of them. He talks about setting that gasket on there, and what you do is you put caulk on both sides of it. But you put the caulk on the bottom side, you put it towards the inside, and on the top side, you put it towards the outside. And that way it kind of tilts that gasket just a little bit. So if it does get any moisture in there, it naturally sheds to the outside.
Yeah. But I'm not doing any of that shit to my house.
Yeah. That's on new houses. That's on new.
I don't know. I mean, what do you guys recommend? I mean, load calc is right in the middle. I mean, train, carrier, ream, nobody does half shoe sizes.
Okay. So here's my thought. Whatever equipment you do, you're going to have to do, I would say you're either going to do a 2-ton, which with variable speed equipment, I don't see the point in going super low anymore.
Right.
Provided that it's not super oversized.
Yeah. A 2-ton will go down to a 1-ton. I did the math. It's like, that's like a 2-speed.
I mean, we're getting into, I think, that conversation of what brand matters, which brand can keep the sensible heat ratio low as it stages down. That's important, because if you have a brand where the sensible heat ratio doesn't drop with it, and then you get into kind of a crappy situation, and dehums are mandatory almost at that point. So brand matters, but the problem is nobody's printing the data on the capacities and the sensible heat ratios as they stage down. That's the issue.
Yeah, so dude, that was big.
Some people are.
Oh, are they? I didn't know. I didn't know everybody was doing that.
And then in Florida, I live in Jennifer. I live in Florida,
South Florida.
I mean, Mike. If it were me, I
gotta pull some stuff up here.
I don't know how much you want to spend, but if it were me, I would size aggressively. and I would, if I could afford it, I'd go inverter based, but I would size kind of aggressive, and I wouldn't press the tonnage, and that way I just go with a system. But unless you want to also handle that fresh air situation, if you're wanting to get the CO down, then then maybe a ventilating dehum does come into play as a good alternate option, just to be, as a safety net for humidity and to bring fresh air in through it.
Yeah.
And you get, but that wouldn't have to be something you had to do immediately. You could do that next.
I'm trying to figure out if I should do the fresh air with the dehu or should do the inverter. And I just, spent like a day screwing around with this old system. So,
All right, hold on. I'm going to share my screen. I think. Let me.
But yeah, like I heard some systems when they go into low speed, the humidity control is absolute garbage. And I didn't know who it was, what manufacturer it was. So yeah, that was weird.
Can you guys see that?
Nope.
No.
Oh, yeah. You want me to throw it on the screen?
Yeah, throw that up on the screen.
Boom.
Okay. So
it's fuzzy. Oh, there you go.
Let me blow this up. Hold on.
Blow it up.
So this is pretty cool because this is what I got into for my house. Can we see that all right?
Yeah, that's pretty clean right there.
Let me zoom it in.
Oh, too close.
Hey now.
Too close. So this is Bosch.
Zoom out just a little bit so we can see the stages. There you go. Whoop, right there.
So this is Bosch data. This is pretty cool stuff. I really like this. And this is one reason why I've got a system sitting here and I ain't got it in my own house yet.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a BOVB 36 18 series with a BVA 2.0 36 air handler.
Yeah, Stephen Reardon was just talking about he's got one of these out in the field.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of them, but he's got some issues with them because I don't think he's got them set up right. And this is why. Okay. So the Bosch air handler
0.83.
There is you have to set them up right. And they are an inverter based system, but they control the inverter speed based on the amount of heat that is delivered to the indoor coil.
Wow.
So the way they operate is kind of similar to a rack system on a grocery store in that they control to a suction saturation temperature.
So off of the suction line temp.
So they control it not off the suction line temp, saturation temperature. So they're using pressure there. So they've got a suction pressure transducer and they try to control that saturation temperature on the suction side. So if you deliver more heat, right, it's going to speed it up. But if you drop the heat or drop the airflow, it slows it down.
Okay. So it's the brain is saying, hey, I don't have a lot of sensible heat in the space, ramp down. Okay.
Well, it's not, because we're not talking just sensible heat. It's saying total heat. It's not looking at space.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because this runs off a conventional thermostat. So all it does, the thermostat tells the compressor to turn on. That's it.
Just a light switch. Yeah.
Yeah. From there, it takes over and it starts controlling to that suction pressure. But if you look at this, like if you're talking a 60, if you're talking a 67 or a 63 degree wet bulb, okay, that's your indoor wet bulb temperature. Mm-hmm. And say you're at 75 degrees and you're down here in this 650, say your outdoor temperature is 75. Mm-hmm. All right. Your sensible total split right there. Everybody see what I'm highlighting. That's a 0.83.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty doggone good.
That's not bad for what I would, design conditions.
Well, what are design conditions though? Because that's running at outdoor 75.
Wow. Well, this is what I'm saying. So something I would want to mention at this point, because this has been talked about, and let me see if I'm saying this right. Go one column over, Eric, when you get into 67 and 75 AHRI conditions.
Okay, 95, 80, 67.
Yeah, highlight the S-T on that one for me.
95.
0.56.
Oops, I'm sorry, 95, 80, 67 right here.
There you go. So some would ask, why do we benchmark it? We should have this conversation. Some would say, hey, why do we test at AHRI conditions? Well, at AHRI conditions, there's more load against the equipment. So I'm thinking what they're doing is they're trying to test the equipment beyond what you're going to use it for. That way they know it can handle it, even if it gets a little bit beyond what, normalcy is going to be. Right?
80 degrees inside, 90
Yeah, I mean, you're
out.
going to be you're not going to get hit with those conditions typically in your house.
Yeah, but the problem is
63.
The problem
I think it's beer. I think it's like beer can cold BS. I think they're testing it so they could show that they're operating more than what they really are.
The problem that I have with that, and this is
a stress test. That's my opinion. I think AHRI conditions is a stress test.
Okay,
stress test.
So
okay,
stress test, fine. But the problem is that we're also shooting for our energy efficiency numbers at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And energy efficiency numbers, when we shoot for them at that point, kind of screw things up.
Yeah, I think this is like SEER 1 stuff. Like, oh, we're going to test the air handler at 0.1 static.
Yeah.
Oh, it's doing great. Yeah, no shit.
So if you look over here,
a high load on it.
Okay, indoor wet bulb of 59 degrees. Okay, which is starting to get a little bit drier.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's quite a bit dry. Wet bulb of 59. And say a return of 70 at that 95-degree outdoor temperature, you're talking about a 0.85 sensible heat ratio.
I feel like I'm taking Alex Meany's class at the symposium over here right now.
These things, I've been really impressed. So the way you set these units up, right, is you look at your load calculation. So what are your load calculation says roughly 30,000.
Yeah. Yep.
What's your design conditions down there? Outdoor design.
I think it's 91 in Central Florida.
So 91. Okay. And we're going to say we're shoot for a 63-degree wet bulb because that's pretty dry, and a 75-degree temperature.
Yeah, we usually set it for 74, 75. Yeah.
Okay. So if we shoot for that, and we set, that's a 31.2 total.
Yeah, that's your capacity. What was your capacity on the last one when you were running, with not a lot of water in the house? What did your capacity go
we're
down?
Usually shooting for 45 to 50% relative humidity.
So right here at 650, it's 22.9. Now it will go lower than that.
No,
we'll drop it down a little lower.
And what's that tonnage right there? 22.9?
22.9, that's your total capacity.
Total capacity.
So gotcha. 22,000, basically 23,000.
Okay.
Right? So if you set that for 1,020 CFM or somewhere around there, you're going to have your 31.2. Now that would be high stage.
Mm-hmm.
So you set up the blower speed using this chart. And that's why they have to publish this chart, is because this is how you set up your blower speed and your equipment to match the load calculation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't set the blower just
because
it's a 3-ton unit. You don't set the blower speed at 1,200 CFM because then you're overshooting your load calculation.
Well, it's all about the capacity, but it's mainly also about the SHR, right? So, Mike, if your house is Florida, I mean that's you're trying to set that number.
Yeah, and you're looking even at 31.2, you're running a 0.86 SHR equipment SHR, which is going to match fine because I'm going to have a little bit of extra latent capacity. So it's going to it's going to slide my sensible capacity right down into that spot where you need to be.
Yep. And then we'll just measure it with the true flow grid.
My eyes just paid attention to this, and I just noticed it does high stage and low stage on the same graph.
Yeah.
Not
this is what they consider high stage is 1150.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They're saying they're not saying high stage, low stage, two settings on the same table. They're saying this is
that's what they consider high stage on their test for their test data. Okay. But it'll run up to 1350, and then you can start, that's where you start getting into your higher
This would be just, I'm
From
not
some-
Bosch. I don't know much about Bosch, but I kind of understand it. Is this like just the Bosch condenser and you pair it with any air handler? Or you paired it with the Bosch
No,
air handler?
This is actually paired with the Bosch air handler.
And
That's what this says right up here.
is the Bosch air handler a two-stage fan? That
It's a
B
constant
A220
torque. It's a constant torque fan. So you set it up in steps.
Right,
Now-
but can it lock into two stages or more? Or is it a one-stage fan motor on that Bosch?
I think it's
It's
like
got 5.
No, I know. Well, it can stay. You're saying it's got 5 independent stages that you can set it to select.
You
its
have
actual
5
table?
speeds on the blower. Okay. So what you do is you set your thermostat up so Y1 triggers low stage blower and tells the outdoor unit to come on.
kind of like mine. It does like one
So it's-
speed,
And then
dehu speed.
Y2
Right, Eric?
then turns the blower speed up.
So it's you have a 5-speed fan motor, but you have 2-stage thermostat.
Well, that depends on your thermostat. You can put
Right.
it in with a single stage. You can put it in with a 2-stage.
Got
You can put it in. You can put it in with a double pull, double throw relay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can make it up to 4 stages with a dehume terminal on your thermostat.
I see what you're saying. So you're saying you've got 5 speeds you can manipulate.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can
And
do
that's,
a lot
that's
of
why he's
stuff.
saying that some people aren't setting it up right on the lower speed.
Yeah,
Because
I
of-
mean, I'm not familiar with their equipment, but man, with 5 fan speed taps, I mean, I wouldn't want to get in there and hodgepodge it with relays. That's not my style. I like to keep things as factory as I can if I install, but I could see myself I would definitely have a 2-stage thermostat on this and be playing the low stage, high stage
Now-
fan speed game.
So I was talking with Bergman about this out at ESCO, and he's got one of these in his house.
Oh,
he
that's
started-
right. He
he
said
started-
he loves this thing.
Well, what he started doing was kind of reverse engineering their cycle. And one of the challenges with these is that it takes about 15 minutes. After you turn this on, it
Mhm.
takes about 15 minutes to go from startup all the way to where you have your airflow set up, ramping the compressor up. The compressor speed takes about 15 minutes to transition from 0 airflow up to where you have your airflow speed set at. So it takes time. So if you have it set up oversized, what's going to happen is it short cycles and the coil never gets cold.
Right.
So how Jim has his setup, and I love this, is he uses a thermostat that has downstaging capabilities.
what?
Now, what that means is that it's running on second stage and it will downstage to first, run on first, and then upstage again to second and downstage. And it'll sit there and just modulate back and forth between those two. And what happens is when you go from the second stage down to the first stage, it takes 15 minutes to ramp that compressor back down. And you end up running with a super cold coil for 10 out of those 15 minutes.
and a good long run time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I
And
want.
like I
Because
said-
in the summer, I
he's
get like 15-minute run times with my
He's
AC.
getting like 15 minutes of probably potentially like unpublished SHR numbers.
Super good dehumidification numbers.
Yeah, like watch me freeze the coil out for 15 minutes and then put it back online.
It doesn't freeze it out.
No,
It's
I
not
know.
gonna- it's not going to freeze it out, but you're going to get super great dehumidification because it's going to drop that coil temperature maybe in the mid 30s.
Yeah, and Bergman's got like a 0.2 total static pressure or something, so
It's pretty good on his system. Like it's
yeah.
because he was dealing with an existing house.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It was his house down in I remember his videos were like down in the basement or something like that.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, the
It
ring.
literally doesn't matter. The only thing that that switch does is it limits the compressor from going higher so that you can run higher airflow and a lower compressor speed, which I don't know why anybody would want to do that. The way that you control the capacity on a Bosch is lower the airflow. And it works so
Yeah.
there's a number of manufacturers, EcoAir, Allied's got one, their Lynx system, I think, now controls similar to this.
Yeah.
York has one.
I,
But like I said,
I love this information, but I think I'm going to go with the train and put the load calc information in there.
Well,
Oh no, I completely love that idea because
that cool?
that's a really cool way to do it.
Dude, I'll tell the 10. Oh, that's a Train 360 now. They switched it from the 1050 control.
If you're going train inverter, I mean, all that stuff you just were walking through should be done for you necessarily on the inverter-based equipment. That's all part of the algorithm. You're paying for that knowledge rather than having to set it up manually.
Right. You're actually, because that's all full communicating. The thing I love about these Bosch units, and to me as a technician, I despise communicating thermostats.
I am shocked to hear that, bro, because you are a technical master.
Well, no, I don't. No. I don't mind working on them.
It's a love-hate relationship for me.
It's a love-hate thing. Yeah.
I don't like them because typically they're a lot more expensive.
They are.
And they're proprietary.
That's true. Yeah.
So as a technician, if I go out to somebody's house to fix something, I want to be able to fix it, and I want to have parts, as many parts as I can on my truck.
We're going to spiral back into my conversation of where we're headed, which Eric has joined my fight on this. We're chasing the dream to get these thermostats to do more than we want them to do, you know.
Yeah,
we won't open that can of worms again.
Yeah, let's not, because we're already running past time, and people probably want to go to bed, and they're tired of listening.
Oh, we're overtime, baby. I feel like it's Friday night. I was on overtime.
Said, to me, this is less expensive than a lot of your communicating systems. So to me, it's another great way of doing this. It's you buy a little bit more expensive control on the wall.
Right.
And you can do a lot. And like I said, you add one relay in there, and I agree with you, Chris. I like to keep stuff factory, but you're not really doing anything to change any of the factory stuff because your relay is going in between your thermostat and the fan.
And I'll be honest with you, dude, I'm not going to rule it out 100%. I mean, that's pretty big. I mean, the price gap is really big.
It's huge.
So, I mean, it's not going to be ruled out.
For example, though, like this is a good comment. It challenges your brain for sure. So, Eric, I love what you're saying, and you make 100,000 points of a good comment to say, yeah, this can be done. But you got to remember, dude, installs, bam, 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 go, go, go. You know, like to have somebody set this up is not like, you know, what's the time going to take to get it set up properly?
TrueFlow Grid takes 5 minutes to do so.
Now, here's the challenge. If you're a company installing these things and you've got installers going out, you tell them how to set up. Draw up a wiring diagram on a computer, for crying out loud. Point to the settings in the thermostat and you say, you put these settings on this.
No, you for sure. What you're saying is there needs to be some in-house training before you just go start pulling this card. So you got to have a company that's dedicated in saying, "Hey, we're going to do this. Let's do internal training to get."
Yeah. Okay. So what training do you need?
And
how
we're
to
talking
follow
about
a wiring diagram?
We got guys out in the trade that have problems with this thing already.
I'm saying,
no offense to the product at all, but I mean, we got guys like Stephen Reardon. This guy is like, in my opinion, this guy's freaking masterclass. You know, it's like,
so one of the problems Reardon had with this was early on, I don't think Bosch knew the equipment quite as well as they knew it, but they didn't really know how to manipulate it in the field and tweak it to get it to really peak out.
I'm sure they did, but it sounds like the marketing team wasn't talking to the engineering team very well. And maybe the marketing team,
I think you nailed it, bro,
wasn't really relaying what its capabilities were.
Well, because like Reardon had he had tech support out there to help him.
And by the way, did he find a place for the symposium?
I don't know. He's coming to the symposium?
He's making it. Yeah, he reached out. Nice. Then I hit you guys. Yo, shoot, I hate to put you on the spot on live here, but I told him, I was like, I don't know if we got room on the Animal House, man. You know, for him and the wife.
The house is full. Eric took the last. I'm gonna blame
put it on me.
Yeah.
This is the man. This is the man that got me into wireless probes, Stefan. You know, I mean, shit.
And
well, if we got an opening, we'll let them know.
So the overtime guys are in the house this year. Just to let everybody know, they're going to be there. We're all friends, and I think they're gonna try to host the show from the house this year. And we might kick our show up a day so we can kick it and host this show from the house. which would be really cool.
That's
That'd
in
be a blast.
February, though. That's a long time down the road.
It is a long time down
Got
the
some
road.
time to prep.
It's spectacular. We got to do something big, you know. We're gonna do that.
Dude, it's gonna be a
We're
fun
giving,
time.
we're giving too much good stuff away in one show. All right, guys.
It's
But
a
no,
good
Mike,
show. It's a
if-
good
if
show
you
for
want-
y'all.
If you decide you want to do something with that Bosch or whatever, hit me up. I'll draw you up a diagram, and like I said, you can have a ton of different options with it. I just think they're cool systems because of what you can do with it, and not have to go with a communicating thermostat. And I can throw my favorite Prestige IAQ on there and still control my dehumidifier, my humidifier, and my ventilation from one control.
I say go with the train. Go inverter. Buy your fancy wall thermostat. It's your brand. You know your brand.
Yeah.
You know, your algorithms are already set for you. Go with what you know. And
And you know what? I love what Eric is saying, though, man. It's like, and what's nice,
No,
we live in a
it's-
time where we have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You know, I'm not a huge fan of train. I'll just come out and say it, like, because in my climate, I've seen so many people lose those clips on the doors. And so they're putting screws in the doors and they're not made for that. You need to go get the clips, put it back to normal. And so I felt like they should have did something different with the way they made those doors fit on. But
The Hyperion cabinets?
the fact that they are made that way, and if you do put them back on right, it's a tight cabinet from what I understand. And that's pretty cool.
Well, you know, a little public services announcement to all the guys out there. Stop using the friggin' impact drill. All right? Get the friggin' screwdriver out. We got like a weak wrist or something. You're killing the Hyperion cabinet, bro.
Thank you.
I've seen
Golly,
it.
bro.
Yeah.
You know,
And I don't
like,
I don't care if it's a freaking Hyperion cabinet or a friggin' rooftop unit.
Oh,
Grab your dang
Fangool,
on nut
man.
driver.
That and Chris, that's the reason why all trains composite cabinets are all messed up. You know,
I'm not going to
plastic.
disagree with you. I'm not
You
going
know?
to disagree with you. But
It's
I'm
those
gonna tell
young guys with that, like, well, I'm going to put the impact driver on that damn thing.
72
Bro,
Ugga-Duggas.
it goes 1, 2, 3, like screwdriver, like a regular, like, you know, like grandpa used to have in a garage, right? No battery.
All right, here's what we're
Holy
saying, man.
smokes.
We're going to close on this note. Bring back your hand tools and make sure you start putting all your electrical cover plates on with the, you know, the old.
Oh, the old
driver.
Amish one.
And get out your brace and bit to drill the holes in the
Yeah,
ductwork.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
bro.
So I'm gonna go with.
to get with the program. And welcome to technology, bro. No,
And I'm just hating on it, man. I mean, dude, set your chuck on like 2, bro. You know,
No.
just you know.
We should not be using impacts to put doors on. We should be using electric screwdrivers.
Yeah.
And guess what? DeWalt, Milwaukee, Bosch, they all make them.
I'm
But
going
nobody buys
to
them.
argue with you guys. I had an impact driver and I loved it, and I never stripped a bunch of doors out. I think it's like sheetrock workers with like floating sheetrock, man. There's an art to it. You just got to know
There's
when
an
to let
art to there's an
you know?
art to the electric gun, all right?
Yeah,
gotta
you
give
got
it a
to know
little
when to let
flick
go.
on it, you know?
You got to know when to let go.
You're absolutely right. There is an art to it, and most people ain't got that art.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Yeah,
you can't
They
save
don't
it.
got it. That's why
So-
they're-
Stop using the wrong tool and get a screwdriver with a clutch on it.
There you go. There's a thought.
Because all the electric screwdrivers have clutches on them. Okay. And they're quick
Yeah.
connect, just like the impacts are.
yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
Y'all sound like,
Put,
y'all
it,
sound
put
like,
it on a 2.
y'all sound
Get,
like
off my lawn. Get
y'all-
off my lawn.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Like an old man.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks,
shutting
Chris.
y'all
Yeah,
down,
You're
what are
right.
you gonna do?
shutting y'all down.
What?
Oh, my soapbox over here.